I came home, she wasn't here. Of course, she was supposed to have been on her way to school, but according to the way that the house was set up once I got here, because it was in complete disarray, she wasn't here. So I called the school so that I can talk to her, and they said that she wasn't there. So shortly thereafter, I contacted him and went up to the school and had them check again. And again, they stated that she was not there. So we started looking for her. The house was unlocked. And when I walked in the house, all of the gas was on in the house. Like the stove was on. There was no fire, but you can hear and smell the gas on in the house. And that's definitely unusual. Other than her and I, it's just the two dogs in the house. So who cut it on? So that was kind of suspicious. Then her glasses and her underclothes were by the couch in the front room. Her pajamas were in the dining room and the floor. So it was just out the ordinary.
When you say glasses, does she need those glasses to see? I mean,
she wears glasses on a daily basis. Yes, she needs them for school, just period.
Welcome back to Crime Time Podcast, and that is the grandmother there of Kimani Lateague. This is in Toledo, Ohio, and if you have not heard about this case, I warn you, it is gruesome, it is disturbing, it's sick, it's twisted, and it's very clear. Obviously, you know, with the legal system, you got to say allegedly, right? But it's very, very clear exactly what happened at this point already. There's very few times that the public, when someone is shot by police, they say good, right? Normally it's police shooting someone unlawfully or just different things like that hit the news. Not very often you hear someone say, well, damn good. Too bad they didn't kill his ass. Or, no, that's too easy for an evil sack of garbage like that. We're talking about the father of this 13-year-old girl who is missing. This all started on the 16th of March. Here we are on the 28th, just 12 days later. So much has unfolded. It is such a just disturbing crime on many levels. Again, I warn y'all. But it's just crazy when you're going to see the father on here. Again, allegedly, he's the alleged killer. Authorities are describing him as an animal. Just like I said, people will debate if when he gets shot, if that's too easy or good. You know what I mean? This type of evil we're talking about here. As you see, this girl was living with her grandmother, and it's clear that's where she should have been. I don't know the whole family history, but it's definitely bad. But you're going to see him on here lying, telling a story that doesn't even make sense. And so often, like a lot of sick sacks of garbage who commit heinous crimes, that's what they do. They tell lies. And you look at him like, you know, just watch his body language, the way he's acting, all that. And you're just like, man, you lying, evil piece of shit. How do you act like that?
Yeah, she has her own keys, so she left glasses and keys. It ain't adding up. I'm saying.
Does she have a cell phone?
Yeah, and it's going straight to voicemail.
Okay, all right.
And she tried to call me at 1:29, and then she called my girl like 5 other times. And the last call came in at 1:49. So she was trying to get in contact with somebody.
And so no one has had contact with her? Nobody saw her? Who was the last person to really see her?
It was me. I came over here because she said that if it seemed like somebody was trying to break into the house. So I sat for an hour, me and my cousin, we sat over here. And we left around like 12:30ish. And she tried to call at like 1:29, and I missed the call. So she was calling everybody else too.
Again, that was from our initial story back on the 19th of March, a few days after she had last been seen, the day after she was officially reported missing. That was on Wednesday. So that was Darnell Jones talking to us. What he knew at that point that he didn't tell us is something that still remains unclear. that I'm sure will get revealed in court and during the legal proceedings as we move forward.
Again, allegedly, the court proceedings, all that, he knew. You know, the news is going by legal language. It'll be proved in a court of law. He knew. You heard that BS story that he gave. The nerve, and just so appalling. Just this crime so gruesome, so grisly. Like I said, can you believe? You got to be careful, people. You know, people out there, you just don't trust them. They're evil. I mean, look at the way that this guy can just lie like this in the horrific crimes that he committed against his own baby girl. Again, she was living with the grandma. Obviously, there was good reason for this. The mother lived in Cleveland. She came to town, to Toledo, for the search party. The whole community was out looking for her. He has his story. He was the last one to see her. He says, it ain't adding up. Yeah, that doesn't add up. That your baby girl calls you and says someone was trying to break into the home. So you went and sat with her. He says him and his cousin sat with her for an hour and then left. And then, obviously, again, allegedly, all that, you know what I mean? No, this guy did this. He committed these crimes. That's what I'm saying. And he's an evil piece of garbage. The police, you know, when they spoke to him again, it just didn't add up to them either. He tried to stage the crime scene. In what world, if someone, your own child, was like, hey, someone was trying to break in over here, would you sit with them for an hour and then bounce when no one else is home? All that, it just doesn't add up. And you heard the grandmother when she came home, the house was in disarray. The kids' glasses, clothes were all over the place. The gas was all on. This guy staged the crime scene to make it like, oh, someone did abduct her after I left. But the police sweated him. You know, they contacted him again and spoke with him, and they say the stories were inconsistent. And about a week after she had been gone is where, as we're kind of going over the timeline in a you know, more summarized form, about a week after her disappearance, the 16th was the last day she was seen. The 17th is when the grandmother was calling the school to confirm that she was indeed not at school. A warrant came out for the father for abduction just at that time. Also, baby girl was found killed in the most just twisted way. Like, even law enforcement, you're going to hear, they deal with all kinds of violent crimes and stuff like that, and they're flat out like, this guy is an animal. You know what I mean? Getting back to what I was talking about, seriously, how often do you hear of law enforcement shooting someone? Most people are like, good, you know, or the whole debate, if he should have just died, or that's too easy. You know, like, this is some sick, twisted stuff, as she was found with her hands cut off, her throat cut in such a gruesome fashion that she was almost decapitated, and she was actually violated by her own father. Just a pure evil animal, plain and simple. Because like I said, the mom comes to town from Cleveland to join in the search party. She was outside of the abandoned building when people knew that there was a body found inside. And there's footage of her freaking out saying, you know, I'm out here. I want to know if it's my daughter. And, you know, why can't they just take a picture and show me? You do not want to see that, Ma. Believe me, you do not want to see that. I understand she's just in shock, just emotional distress. She's in town trying to find her daughter, right? The father, as they issued this warrant, again, this is all taking place a week later, 16th week later, the warrant's out. Ma's there. He's gone. He's spotted. Law enforcement gets the drop on him that he's in Columbus. So SWAT goes out to, you know, find him. He pulls a gun out and a shootout ensues. And like I said, this evil sack of garbage, just look at the way that he was on the news, is just demeanor and everything. I mean, maybe you could spot that he was lying, but just the way that he was able to stay so calm and collected after he had did to his own child these horrific things. Again, law enforcement just in shock and cannot believe this. There's some crimes that are just so sick and twisted, people just can't really fathom that they happened.
That house will ultimately be torn down as soon as Toledo police finish their investigation. So we fast forward now from Monday to Tuesday, when we get word in the morning that there was a shootout with SWAT officers and a man in the city of Columbus. It turns out that man was Darnell Jones. The 33-year-old allegedly pulled a gun on police in Columbus. The SWAT team was there looking for him. They shot him. Do not know how many times, do not know where, do not have more details than that from Columbus police about how they ended up finding him. But we do know that they said Toledo police put out a statewide bolo, be on the lookout alert for Darnell Jones, saying that he was wanted for a heinous crime in the city of Toledo. So police were on high alert. They got a handle of where he was, and they had this confrontation with him in Columbus. And
this was an individual wanted for homicide out of Toledo. I called my union counterpart in Toledo. I said, hey, good news, we have your guy. Your guy committed a murder, chose to fled to our town. I'll tell you right now, the wrong town to come to if you murder somebody. Our SWAT team will go out looking for you. This case is one of the most horrific cases I ever heard. This is a 14-year-old that was murdered, raped, had her hands cut off, and her throat almost cut off. This is an absolute animal that came into our town.
So there you have it. It's what I was talking about. I mean, really, right? A cop speaking like that, shooting a suspect. But again, add it up, do the math. This guy did it. I understand the court process. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of situations at times where things aren't so clear. And, you know, everyone has their day in court. But you saw what happened. This guy lied to the police, staged his crime scene, ran off. The mother, the grandmother, everyone, the community, you see him crying outside of that abandoned house, going out on search parties, trying to find this girl, his daughter. What did he do? Flee, go to another city, Columbus, and he got filled with hot lead. I don't know how many shots he is alive. That was putting a delay on the court process beginning. You know what I mean? But seriously, have you ever hear a time when a cop is talking about shooting someone, and I'm guessing most of the general public is like, that son of a bitch is an animal, an evil sack of garbage, a demon. I talk about this all the time. There's demons in this world, y'all. Real talk. People who hurt kids, people who just commit atrocious, disgusting, disturbing, heinous crimes. They're demonic, they're demons. They walk among us in human form. And that's what we saw here. It's a shame that law enforcement with the legal system couldn't get a warrant sooner, but I'm guessing, unfortunately, that, she was dead right away, I believe. I don't know. Let me know what you think about all this. Stay tuned for updates. Like I said, he's been in the hospital. He's going to be arraigned. And is Ohio a death penalty state? I'm not sure. Let me check. So it seems Ohio is indeed a death penalty state, and this most certainly would fit the criteria of someone who could definitely face capital punishment and be put to death. That's obviously a very controversial punishment. Many people feel different ways about it. Just saw a movie on Netflix recently, about Texas. I think they put more people to death than any other state, and there was a lot of innocent people being put to death. That's just one of the reasons, some people are against it. Some people just don't believe in it, that type of judgment is should not be for humans to decide. But man, this pure nightmarish stuff you hear about, something like this, a father committing just evil, and he will pay. I hope he pays. Stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned for updates. It's Crime Time Podcast signing out. Share your thoughts.